Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cherry the Geek TV. I'm Joe Vanourney. It is the Peanuts 75th anniversary this year, and what better way to celebrate than with a brand new Peanuts special called Snoopy Presents, a summer musical. It premieres Friday, August 15th on Apple TV Plus. Today, we are joined by Erik Wiese, who is the director, and Craig Schulz, the executive producer and writer of Snoopy Presents, a summer musical. Craig and Erik, welcome to Cherry the Geek TV.
Glad to
Thanks
be
for
here.
having us.
Erik, set up the special for us. When people tune in on Apple
Hmm.
TV to see Snoopy Presents a Summer Musical, what are they going to see?
They're going to see the whole cast come together, and it's going to be a fun musical ride with a lot of heart and strap in for a lot of emotion. I think that's one thing. That's general, but I don't want to give too much away. But I think that's what we're gonna get.
It's set at summer camp, and summer camp has always been an important part of the Peanuts world, right? It was a part of the comic strip. Uh, it hits home with me personally. I was 7 years old in 1977 when Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown came out, which was set in a summer camp. So this watching this special felt like coming home for me. Craig, what do you think it is about summer camp and the outdoors that makes it a perfect setting for a story that takes place in the Peanuts universe?
Well, I think mainly because it's so relatable. I think, like you said, almost you've been there, and almost everybody's been to summer camp or something like that in their lifetimes. But beyond that, I think it's the location ties in perfectly with the theme and message of the movie about when things disappear, they never come back. So whether we're talking about, forests and drilling or national parks being invaded by and taken over by somebody else. We don't want that to happen. And we think that the next generation is really the one that's going to be willing to step up and take the reins on these projects like that and don't let things like that happen. And that's what the message kind of goes. Charlie Brown passes this love for the outdoors and camp on to Sally, who is not embracing it at all in the beginning. And she finds what it's all about. And she goes from looking at her video transmitter of all day long to the outdoors and the love of the outdoors. And that's what we hope everybody does, and that people step up and preserve what's there because it's not there forever.
Now, the name of the special is a summer musical. Music's always been an important part of the animated specials, at least score-wise, right? That people hear that jazzy music, they instantly connected with the Peanuts universe. Uh, and this that music is in this special as well. Jeff Morrow's the composer, but you also have original songs from Ben Folds. Talk about bringing. I know Jeff's been part of the other Apple Peanuts projects, but talk about Jeff and his contributions, and then bringing in Ben and their collaboration and bringing these songs to life.
Yeah, sure. I mean, working with Ben was fantastic, and he's just the perfect fit. When we think about the Peanuts, we have this association with Vince Guaraldi and the piano. Piano is such a personality of the Peanuts, and we have Ben Folds, and he's like the punk rock piano guy. And he also understands and has the nostalgia for Peanuts. So, we get the script and we have an idea of what that song needs to be. It's not really fleshed out with any dialogue or anything, but we know what needs to happen in that scene. And so we have this creative conversation with Ben Folds. And part of the thing that we wanted to do is make sure that it sounded like a Ben Folds song, that it was a band. Just like Vince Guaraldi, it's like he had his band, and it just felt like having a band is right for the Peanuts. They're a little gang, they're at summer camp, and they're the ones who are basically playing the instruments. And so we also wanted to sound handmade and analog. So it was all done, with care from Ben Folds. It was never like handed over to another studio to record it, to mix it. He had his people do that. And that really informed us on how the visuals need to be. So and yes, the piano was what was sitting on top because that's sort of what it is. So with that, we keep Jeff Morrow in the fold, and he takes like little bits and little melodies here and there, and it sneakily puts it into the score. And the score we actually use like an orchestra here and there, but he knows what we're going for because he has also such a history with the Peanuts brand. But yeah, that's how we were able to connect it. And Jeff also produced the two other songs that were written by Alan Zachary and Michael Wyman. It was all of us having a conversation and making sure that each one of these songs also progressed the story. I hope
How
that answered it.
long how long
Mhm.
was the process? Like when you deliver like an idea, like the song's got to be about this or deliver this emotional message,
Yeah.
and then then you got to come up with the lyrics. Were there different iterations before you get to what's seen in the special? Like how long did that process take? And kind of walk me through that.
Each song has its own story. There was some where it was like, bam, that song worked right away. And then, Ben being such a perfectionist, it's like he delivers something, we're like, this is amazing. Let's start drawing. And then the next day he comes back, he's like, I changed it. It's now this. And you're like, what do you mean you changed it? And you hear it, you're like, oh my God, that's fantastic. That sounds great. And I would get phone calls from him. He'd text me a video of his computer screen with a new version of a song at like 3 in the morning. And you're listening to it going, oh man, and then you hear it, you're like, this is great. And it's a process. And sometimes lyrics change, and those lyrics will sometimes change parts of the story, like just like little parts, and it's great. And so not only is he working with us as a songwriter, but in a way he becomes a writer also of the story that's unfolding. So yeah, it was just such a wonderful new thing for all of us, because none of us had worked uh have ever done a musical before, and we were in good hands, with our songwriters.
Yeah, I was going to bring up your background. You've directed a lot of the Sonic Prime television episodes and episodes of the Mighty Bee. What was it like stepping into the Peanuts world and directing these iconic characters, and then having that added challenge of it
Yeah.
also having to be a musical?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing too is that, like, I grew up on Peanuts. I love Peanuts. I have so many of the books. And so that's part of my DNA. And then, having gone off and done things like Sonic Prime, where it's a big action show, um, all of that action and all of that choreography actually really worked in translating that into a musical. There's a lot of choreography, a lot of design, and design tells you how to feel and how does it cut into something. So it was the logical progression. Now, the other thing is that there is a lot of pressure on delivering a Peanut special that feels like a Peanut special. I'm a fan, and I want to make sure that it feels like a Peanut special, but uh, that I can put myself into it. And Craig and Brian and Neil and the producers and Apple, like, they gave me the room to also put myself into this. And I hope we delivered for the fans, and I hope they're also willing to go on to something that's a little new, also, that we're going into some new territory as well.
The songs are all bangers. They're fantastic. The fantastic songs. Craig, it's been about 35 years since there's been a musical version of Peanuts, right? Why did it take so long? It feels like watching this special, it just seems so natural. Will we have to wait another 35 years to get another Peanuts musical, or do you think it might be a little sooner this time?
Now, 35 years, let's see, I'll be 110 or something like that. So I don't think you have to wait that long, hopefully. I am in the process of doing another one. But I think this thing, what's amazing to me, and I think what's special about this show is it's different on so many different levels. The original music was a takeoff on Good Man Charlie Brown, which was a stage musical, and they simply animated that. This is fresh from the ground up, and I think it's groundbreaking from the ground up, not only because it's the first musical, but because hidden in with this musical, you see the first glimpse of animated 1950s Peanuts children. That has never been done. You also see, it's also an example of write what you know. I went to Cloverleaf Ranch, which became Clover Hill in the show. My horse was called Lulu May. I went through the struggles of Sally. My son went through the struggles of Charlie Brown and the love of camp. My daughter was a total camp dropout. She lasted one day at camp and came home. So between the collaboration of all of us, and I don't know what Neil went through, but Brian and me, we covered the whole gamut of camps. But I think the show is groundbreaking on so much. And then you inject, Ben Folds, Jeff Morrow, Alan, and Michael. You've got a tremendous writing group. So it's like putting layer upon layer upon layer And I think it sets the bar so high that my plan for the next one is going to be try to be above that one. And it'll be a challenge.
Awesome. Can't wait for that. We're sadly out of time. Before we wrap up, really quickly, when people watch the show, the summer musical, what do you hope audiences take away from it?
Well, I just hope I get to see videos online of little kids dancing to the music with a TV set on in the background. I hope parents sit down with their children after watching the show and ask them, what did you get out of this special? And see if they understand the messaging, which is so, so important, that children know that they have an effect on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to second that. I hope that it really inspires people to come together and know that they have some power for change. It's about community and saving those things, because otherwise, once they're gone forever.
Well, it's a fantastic special. Congratulations. You guys hit it out of the park. It's called Snoopy Presents, a summer musical. It starts streaming on Apple TV Plus Friday, August 15th. Erik and Craig, thank you so much for chatting with us today on Cherry the Geek TV.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Your first time at camp. I know you're gonna love it. Your generation would rather sit in front of the television.
I would rather sit in front of the TV. What's it gonna be? The best time ever! The best time ever! Hey! Quiet around here! Thank you! They all seem to love this place.
That's because of all the wonderful things you can do here.
The return for the friendships and memories.
We're going to close the camp.
I was hoping you'd be able to spend a few summers here. Like the rest of us did. We have to protect these places.
We're just kids. What can we really do?
I've got an idea how we can save the camp. We'll put on a festival. We're not doing it for us. We're doing it for them. And all the others that will follow in their footsteps.
We're gonna leave it all better than we found it.